Have you ever taken a photo and noticed something strange? Today we'll be looking at some of the most mysterious photos ever taken, where ghosts might have made an unexpected appearance. Are they real, hoaxes, or something else entirely? Let's find out. Late one night in upstate New York, Rose Benvenuto swerved to miss a stray dog darting across the road. The next thing she remembered was the airbag exploding in her face, and then nothing. The wreckage was total. They say the crash should have killed her. Twisted metal, shattered glass. Yet Rose Benvenuto walked away. She called it a miracle. Her car was mangled beyond recognition, but somehow Rose climbed out without a single scratch. Photographer Sharon Boo, working the crash scene with the fire department, captured something her camera shouldn't have. A pale, ghostly figure hovered near the crumbled metal, silent, watching. Some call it an angel, others aren't so sure. Rose just stares at the photo and murmurs, "I wasn't alone in that car." Whatever it was, it didn't come for her. In 1931, during the height of England's spiritualist revival, when seances were as common as supper and the veil between worlds felt paper thin, a man named William Hope claimed he could capture the dead on film. As a founding member of the Crewe Circle, a group of spiritualists nestled in the town of Crewe, Hope promised grieving souls one final glimpse of their loved ones. One such photograph featured Mrs. Hortense Leveson. She sat stiffly before the camera, eyes wide with silent hope. She was grieving and desperate. She wanted proof, just a glimpse of her late husband, Major Leveson. What she got was a photograph that still unsettles the spine. Behind her head, faint but chillingly clear, loomed the face of a man, pale and watching. Her husband, they claimed. A miracle, they said. But stare too long at that image and doubt slithers in. The angle is just too perfect, the figure too eager. Critics accused Hope of fraud, of ghostly trickery with double exposures and darkroom illusions. And yet, believers still feel something in that photograph, something not staged, not faked, just wrong. The image chilled viewers, not because of what was there, but because of how close it lingered, just behind her head, as though it had never truly left. Some saw comfort, others a warning. After all, in those days of practiced spirit sessions and candlelit summons, the dead were never far, and not all came when called. Because whether conjured or caught, the figure lingers, unnervingly close. And the question isn't just whether it's real, but whether it ever left her side at all. In the suffocating hush of a summer evening in 1991, the veil between worlds thinned. The Ghost Research Society, armed with nothing more than infrared film and a hunch, walked into the overgrown stillness of Bachelor's Grove, a cemetery just outside of Chicago, long abandoned by the living, but not the dead. They took one photograph. No one was there, they claimed, no one living, that is. But when the film was developed, a figure had emerged, a woman, impossibly seated atop the checkered monument near the south entrance. Her face, pale and expressionless, seemed smoothed over by time itself, with only the faintest shadow where a nose should be. Her feet disappeared into the glowing grass, as though the earth itself was swallowing her whole, or perhaps she had never truly left it. The image chills to this day. That figure, translucent, eerie, has never returned. Hundreds of photographs have been taken since. None have captured her. None dare to understand what was revealed that night. She appeared once, and once only, as if to say, "I was here," or perhaps, I still am. The hour was still, heavy with the muffled solemnity of morning. Outside, a procession moved slowly through the grey veil of fog, bearing the body of Lord Combermere to his final rest. But inside Combermere Abbey, Sybil Corbett stood alone in the hushed library, adjusting her camera with trembling fingers. She had been invited to document the estate while it lay in mourning, perhaps as a distraction, or perhaps the Abbey itself desired to be seen, to be remembered. The camera was a relic, slow and deliberate in its capture. Sybil prepared the exposure, which would take nearly an hour to develop onto the plate. She left the room empty, silent, save for the ticking of an old grandfather clock and the weight of unseen things. When the image finally emerged from the plate, her heart stumbled in her chest. There, sitting in the large armchair by the library window, was a figure. Faint, almost translucent, a distinguished man seated in perfect stillness. His form faded at the legs, blurring to the rug beneath, but the upper half was unmistakable. The proud posture, the side profile, the chair he loved, the room he ruled. It was Lord Combermere. But he had been killed days earlier, struck down by a carriage in London, his body broken, especially his legs. At the moment the camera captured this impossible image, his coffin was being lowered into the earth miles away. No one had entered the room. No footsteps disturbed the dust. And yet he had returned, just long enough to sit once more in his chair, to gaze upon the books that outlived him, and to let the Abbey know he had not left willingly. And now the library holds more than books. It holds a man who died far from home, but came back for one final moment. And maybe, just maybe, he never left. In the blistering heart of the Australian outback, near the ancient weathered formation known as Corroboree Rock, a photograph was taken in 1959. Simple, unassuming at first glance, but look closer and unease begins to stir. In the frame stands someone, a faint ghostly figure draped in a flowing white gown, half there, half not. They hover in the scrubland like a ripple in time. What makes the scene even stranger, chilling even, is the way the figure clutches something at chest level, as though peering through binoculars or a camera. It's tempting to dismiss it as a photographic glitch, a double exposure maybe. After all, it was the era of film and fragile negatives. But what if it wasn't? What if the camera caught something it wasn't meant to see? A spirit, perhaps, lingering between worlds. But what would a ghost want with a camera? What could he possibly be watching or documenting? Others whisper darker theories, that a camera didn't capture a ghost at all, but rather a glimpse through a tear in time, a momentary fracture revealing a traveller from another era or another dimension, an observer caught mid-surveillance. And then the question becomes, were we photographing them, or were they photographing us? It was a chilly afternoon in 1987 when Mrs. Sayer and a friend visited a quiet, decommissioned airfield tucked away in the English countryside. The place was mostly forgotten. Old hangars creaked in the wind, and rusted planes sat like skeletal remains of another era. For a bit of fun, Mrs. Sayer climbed into the cockpit of a retired aircraft, smiling as her friend snapped a photo. The seat beside her was empty, she was certain of that. Just her, the cold metal, and the scent of oil and dust. But when the photo was developed days later, his smile faded. Sitting in the co-pilot seat, clear as day, was a man. His features were sharp, his uniform old-fashioned, and his eyes hollow. He looked straight ahead, hands resting calmly as though awaiting takeoff. No one at the airfield recalled anyone else being around, and there was certainly no one in that cockpit with her. Some whispered it was the spirit of a pilot who never made it home, still bound to the cockpit he died in. Others wondered if Mrs. Sayer had briefly crossed into something else, another time, another reality. One thing was certain, that man was never there, until he was. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. There is just something about ghost photos, the ones where you can't quite explain what you are seeing, but your gut tells you something's not right. Maybe it's a shadow in the wrong place, a face with no body, or a figure that wasn't there when the photo was taken. Whatever it is, it lingers. What makes these images so fascinating isn't just the fear. They invite questions. Was it a trick of the light, a camera glitch, or did someone or something actually appear just for a split second, caught between our world and whatever lies beyond? Some people believe wholeheartedly, others just write it all off. But if you're like me, maybe you live somewhere in between, open to the idea that not everything has a simple explanation. And I think that's what keeps us coming back to these stories. We want to understand, or maybe we just want to feel that chill one more time. If anything in this video gave you that weird, crawling feeling, or just made you pause, give it a like. It helps a lot and lets me know you'd like more content like this. If you've ever captured something strange on camera yourself, I really want to hear about it. Whether it's an old family photo with a ghostly figure in the background, or a weird flicker of movement caught on a security cam, drop it in the comments. Or even better, tell the story behind it. It's often the context that really makes these moments come alive. Feel free to share this video with friends who enjoy the mysterious, the creepy, or the just plain unexplainable. These stories are meant to be experienced together because sometimes the scariest part is realizing someone else saw the exact same thing you did. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you won't miss what's coming next. I've got more strange footage, haunted stories, and eerie encounters on the way. Each video takes us a little further into the unknown. Until next time, take care of yourself, stay curious, stay open-minded, and maybe think twice before deleting that weird photo. Sometimes the things we don't understand are the ones most worth holding on to. Bye!